Right now on Good Morning Northwest, the Benton County Sheriff's Office releases more information about a deadly crash from the 4th of July that killed a deputy prosecutor. We have the details.
The missing 2-year-old girl from Pullman found safe after not being returned to her mother back on June 3rd. An update to the story that we've been following for weeks.
Hundreds of Kennewick irrigation customers left without water. What the district is saying about the cause.
And today is probably going to be one of the hottest days of the year. I'll tell you how hot, and I'll tell you how to stay safe in the heat. That's going to be coming up right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest. On your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Jill Sperling. It is Tuesday, July 9th. And yes, Josh did say it could be one of the hottest days all year.
Jill, for once in my life, I was sweating getting ready. It's usually freezing in here.
I thought you were going to say sweating thinking about the heat.
That too. We'll check in now with Josh, our chief meteorologist, to see what kind of temperatures we're getting today.
Josh, good morning. We've been enduring some extremely hot temperatures. Is there any relief in your forecast?
Yes, but it's only very subtle relief. We're still going to be in the triple digits for a very long time in the Tri-Cities. For this morning, already pretty mild stuff out there, 50s and 60s for the Kittitas and Yakima valleys. We're in the 60s for the lower Columbia Basin and mid-60s already for the foothills of the Blues. A little bit later today, drum roll please, look at this, 110 for the Tri-Cities, 110 for Hermiston. I know we got some people out here that are very prideful about the heat, but this is objectively very hot, and you don't win any points in my book if you say otherwise. And this sort of underscores it, right? Heat is the deadliest weather phenomenon in the United States. It beats every other phenomenon by at least a 2-to-1 metric, so this is very serious stuff. If you're going to be walking the pets for today, the earlier the better. If the kids are going to be outside, maybe just keep them in the AC for today, but of course have plenty of water on hand, take plenty of breaks in the shade, and check on those vulnerable populations, especially the elderly. I will show you some of that very subtle relief on the way, and that's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Well, just as the temperatures were heating up this weekend, hundreds of Kennewick irrigation customers were left without water.
That means many people could not use their sprinkler systems to water their lawn. Now, this water disruption was not due to the new mandatory watering restrictions for residents, which went into effect on Sunday.
The Kennewick Irrigation District received hundreds of calls into its dispatch system yesterday morning about the lack of water. The district says the problem was caused by a system issue.
Going into Friday and certainly into Saturday, the river itself was lowering, as well as then KID's supply. But the summary is that the Bureau of Reclamation, who both operates the system and supplies our water, there was a system issue, and that system issue resulted in basically a hole in the system, and that entire hole in the system, so the lack of water, landed on KID's doorstep.
KID says about 50% of the calls it fielded Monday were not a result of the lack of water, but a lack of pressure, most likely due to vegetation clogging up the system.
Some customers still have no water, but that's expected to be resolved within the next 24 to 48 hours.
An update now to a story we've been following for weeks. A missing 2-year-old girl has been found safe in Mexico more than a month after her father, Aaron Ong of Moscow, Idaho, failed to return her to her mother on June 3rd.
Ong is now being held in Arizona, awaiting extradition back to Whitman County on a warrant for custodial interference. A few days before Ong and his daughter went missing, so did his fiancée, Nadia Cole of Pullman, Washington. She disappeared from SeaTac Airport on May 29th and was found with them in Mexico. Cole was deported back to the U.S.
The three were detained about an hour-and-a-half drive south of the border at a roadside checkpoint over the weekend. As of now, the 2-year-old is in the care of Arizona Child Protective Services. Detectives are working to reunite her with her mother.
In another follow-up, the Benton County Sheriff's Office has released more information about a crash on the 4th of July that killed a deputy prosecutor, his wife, and 2 of their 3 children.
The Sheriff's Office says it appears the deputy prosecutor, Bradley Bartlett, did not stop at the intersection of Travis Road and Sellards Road. A man driving west on Sellards Road was also involved in the crash. The Sheriff's Office says it does not appear that either driver was under the influence, and it does appear that everybody was wearing seatbelts.
The second driver and the deputy prosecutor's young son were the only ones to survive the crash. Both are now out of the hospital.
Turning to fire news now, Kennewick fire crews were called out to battle yet another fire along Columbia Park Trail yesterday afternoon. It's the second fire in that area within less than a week.
Fire crews responded to Columbia Park near the abandoned campgrounds around 2 p.m. The fire was under control within an hour and only a small area was burned. Firefighters don't know the cause of the fire just yet.
Pyrotechnics at the gorge are blamed for starting a brush fire Saturday night.
The Grant County Sheriff's Office says the fire started during the Odessa show Saturday night. Staff at the gorge were able to get the fire out before it caused too much damage, but the Sheriff's Office says the rest of the concert had to be canceled. It was the last show of Odessa's The Last Goodbye tour. They posted this picture on social media yesterday morning saying, quote, "We truly wish we could have played our encore for you, but safety is always our #1 priority." Also adding, quote, "We are also so appreciative to our fans for following protocol and understanding that everyone's collective safety comes first." Now here in our area, the heat is going to be a concern for the next several days. When temperatures get into the triple digits, it's important to give your body a break, even if it's just for a couple of hours. We have a list of cooling centers available across the region on our website. That's applevalleynewsnow.com. You can also dial 211 to get connected with services that includes places to take a break and cool down. Straight ahead on Good Morning Northwest, West Nile virus has been detected in Yakima County. Now, West Nile is typically spread to people through the bite of an infected mosquito, and most of the time, it doesn't cause any symptoms. When we come back, we look at what the Yakima Health District is recommending you do to help avoid those pesky mosquito bites. That's coming up in your health headlines.
Dermatologists say that sleeping on wet hair can be very damaging.
How bad is it?
It's so bad.
Next live, Ray Romano and Kate Upton from Dress My Tour.
Today at 9 on Apple Valley News Now.
Want to test drive U.S. Cellular's nationwide 5G coverage?
Yeah.
Download our app. Want to do it even faster?
Here we go.
U.S. Cellular works great out here. Wow, still have 5G here too. Hey, I wonder if U.S. Cellular lets me stream in my rec room. Yep, it's working.
Try out our nationwide 5G coverage free for 30 days. Download the U.S. Cellular Try Us app today.
Our new orthopedic regenerative medicine clinic with Prosser Memorial Health orthopedic surgeon Dr. Jeffrey B. Higgs is now offering a variety of treatments, including platelet-rich plasma injections to enhance injury recovery, promote healing, and treat pain associated with early osteoarthritis. To schedule an appointment, call Prosser Orthopedic Center at 509-786-5599 or learn more at prosserhealth.org. This is how we care.
At Columbia Basin Buildings and Sheds, we've got you covered. We offer a variety of buildings and sheds that come with a 5-year limited warranty, free delivery, and setup. Whether you're ready to custom create your space or just need extra storage, we're here to help every step of the way. All in-stock buildings can be delivered within 7 to 10 days and custom builds in 3 to 4 weeks. So what are you waiting for? Find your perfect building or shed today with Columbia Basin Buildings and Sheds in West Richland.
Shelby's Floral, your homegrown neighbor with worldwide connections for over 45 years. Shelby's, more than just a flower shop, specializing in beautiful custom arrangements, live plants, silk florals, and home decor. We're unique and we're here for all life's occasions all year long. Shelby's Floral at the corner of Clearwater and Edison in Kennewick is still open, and we're having a sale. Stop by today and let our experienced designers help you with all of your floral needs. Shelby's Floral.
Communist China poses an economic and national security threat to America.
And Dan Newhouse is the leader in Congress fighting for our security.
Dan stood up to Communist China and wrote the bill to stop them from buying up American farms and ranches.
And Dan's working to secure the border and stop the flow of deadly Chinese fentanyl through Mexico and into our communities.
Where Joe Biden fails us, Dan Newhouse fights for us.
I'm Dan Newhouse, and I approve this message to stand up to Communist China and to secure our border.
STCU is pleased to support Apple Valley News Now's Restaurant Showdown.
64 restaurants, 4 regions, 1 champion. Get ready to make your voice heard in the Restaurant Showdown. Coming soon from STCU, Les Schwab Tires, and Whitman Hill Winery.
Take off over a fun park. Fly the Northwest. Apple Valley News Now at 6 tonight.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. A health alert for our region this morning. West Nile has been detected in a mosquito pool in Yakima County. West Nile virus is spread to people through the bite of an infected mosquito. Most of the time, the virus does not cause any symptoms, but about 1 in 150 people will develop a severe illness affecting the central nervous system. The Yakima Health District says so far it's had no reports of people or animals infected with the virus. The West Nile virus positive mosquito pool was collected from the Sunnyside unit of the Sunnyside Snake River Wildlife Area. It's the first detected in Washington this year. The district says people should avoid mosquito bites by using an EPA-registered repellent. Also wear loose-fitting, long-sleeved shirts outside. Make sure you have tight-fitting screens on windows and doors, and get rid of any standing water that's near your home, as this is where mosquitoes like to lay their eggs. And more health news, federal health authorities are warning that COVID has been on the uptick nationwide. Juan Gutierrez, a clinic services supervisor at the Benton Franklin Health District, says it hasn't hit the Tri-Cities yet.
Here locally, we haven't seen a major surge, so levels have continued to maintain low, but we are closely monitoring to see if there's any changes. One of the best things you can do to be preventative is to have good hand washing technique, maintaining a good distance between individuals, masking when appropriate, when you're having respiratory symptoms like cough, fever, sore throat.
Gutierrez says you should take at least 20 seconds to wash your hands, and don't forget in between the fingers, the top of the hands, and your thumbs. Also, if you avoid touching your face, you can help keep the virus from getting into your body. Gutierrez says it's also a good time to think about getting your vaccinations up to date for the upcoming school year.
A lot of students right now are getting letters sent home from the school districts about what vaccines they need to be caught up with. And with the amount of appointment availability here being kind of sparse, it's kind of difficult to get a doctor's appointment right now. It's important to get on the schedule with your local provider or at a community clinic so that you can get those vaccines well in advance and not have any holdups with the upcoming school year.
In order to avoid a long wait, you are encouraged to schedule your appointment as soon as possible. Coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, the heat is turning up and hardware stores on the west side of the state are now struggling to keep up with the demand for fans and air conditioners. We've got the story when we come back. The first hour weather locally, Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth has that. Keep it here. We'll be right back.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. Hit by a big truck? I know how to be their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariana Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222.
These are real people seeking solutions to real problems.
I have plantar fasciitis.
Pain with my feet, my knees, hips, and back.
And then they were fit with Good Feet arch supports.
I definitely feel the heel-to-toe walk.
I'm not feeling any pain, especially in my heel. That's where I always feel it.
I don't feel the knee pain. I didn't notice any pain in my back. I feel like I could walk all day in these.
Oh, you're a blessing in disguise.
Try them for yourself with a free arch support fitting at the Good Feet store.
Attention all Hanford and PNNL workers and contractors. Join United Energy Workers Healthcare for a free lunch and learn resource fair on Friday, July 19th at the Three Rivers Convention Center in Kennewick from 11 to 2 p.m. You may qualify for additional healthcare benefits and financial compensation. Learn more at our free lunch and learn resource fair on Friday, July 19th at the Three Rivers Convention Center in Kennewick from 11 to 2 p.m.
Are you waking up in the morning with a sore jaw, headaches, maybe even ringing in your ears, all because you're grinding and clenching your teeth at night? That's exactly what was going on with me. That's when I found this, the Brux Night Guard. Now the Brux Night Guard redirects the bite force away from the back teeth, reducing jaw pain while still protecting the teeth. This unique design is what makes Brux Night Guard different from all other traditional grind guards. Go to bruxnightguard.com and order yours today.
Get ready for an unforgettable season with the Yakima Valley Pippins baseball team.
We're celebrating our 10th season, and we want you to be a part of the excitement. Join us at the Yakima County Stadium for a fun, affordable, and professional baseball experience. From single game tickets to season ticket memberships, group events, and merchandise, we have options to fit everyone's needs. This season only, we're offering special deals to celebrate our 10th season. Don't miss out on Yakima Valley Pippins baseball.
Skin symptoms are one of the main reasons people come to primary care. Dermoscopy is an effective and non-invasive way for trained Prosser Memorial Health providers to more easily identify these conditions and cancer of the skin. Dermoscopy screenings are now available at our Grandview Clinic. Call 509-203-1080 to learn more or schedule an appointment today. This is how we care.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. Hit by a big truck? I know how to beat their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariana Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
Call 853-2222. Good Morning Northwest streams all day at AppleValleyNewsNow.com and our mobile apps. From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It is a mild start, and of course, it's going to be a hot finish to the day. We're in the 50s and 60s right now in the Kittitas and Yakima Valleys, also 60s for the lower Columbia Basin, and mid to upper 60s for the foothills of the Blues. A little bit later today, it is quite possibly going to be one of the hottest days of the year, as it will be around 110 for the Kittitas and Yakima Valleys. It's going to be the same thing for the lower Columbia Basin, a little bit shy of that for the foothills of the Blue Mountains, but still, it is just going to be some very hot stuff out there. So please be safe as it pertains strictly to the heat, but also as it pertains to fire impacts. We're going with a first alert extreme impact fire day for today, as the fire fuel energy compared to historical values will be up into the 98th percentile for Kittitas and Yakima counties, up into the 96th percentile for the lower Columbia Basin, and up into the 95th percentile for the Blue Mountains. So the fuels are very dry and they are asking to be burnt. And then for tonight, very mild / warm stuff out there, near 70 for the Kittitas and Yakima Valleys. The same thing for the lower Columbia Basin, and low to mid 70s for the foothills of the Blues. And by the way, I just want to point out that for today, skies could be a little hazy because of that fire that's burning off of Lake Chelan. That would be the Pioneer Fire. And then for tonight, some of that haze is going to start to drift over into the lower Columbia Basin, the foothills of the Blues, and the Blue Mountains. And overall air quality, we're thinking should be better as we head into tomorrow, but unfortunately the temperatures aren't going to be that much better, as we're thinking we're going to be right back where we started for Tuesday, right around 110 for the Tri-Cities, and then cooling off, if you want to call it that, for Thursday through Monday, as we're still going to be up into the triple digits. And given that this is going to be a sustained, prolonged heat wave, our fuels are going to be very dry, which is why we're going with a first alert extreme impact fire day for Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and beyond, all the way through next Monday. As well, you'll see. Look at this, up into the 99th percentile in terms of fire fuel energy compared to historical values, so almost maxing out the scale for Kittitas and Yakima counties, but not just there. For the lower Columbia Basin, also maxing out the scale. For the Blue Mountains, also maxing out the scale. So please, please, please use extreme vigilance as it relates to heat and fire safety. And we're also concerned about lightning-induced fires as we head into next week, as there is a very small chance for thunderstorms into Sunday and Monday. Here's a 7-day forecast for the Cascades. Near 90 for today, but back into the 70s by Thursday. For the Kittitas Valley, an incredibly dangerous setup for Wednesday. I mean, it's going to be dangerous fire weather all week, but especially for Wednesday and Thursday, just given how breezy / windy it could be. For the Yakima Valley, we'll have more bearable heat by Thursday, but it's still going to be hot, up around 100 degrees. And then for the lower Columbia Basin, we'll have a pair of 110s for today and tomorrow, and slight relief as we head into Thursday. For the foothills of the Blues, triple digits for Tuesday and Wednesday, upper 90s after that. And then for the Blue Mountains, very dry and a very concerning lightning chance for Sunday and Monday.
Now, with extreme temperatures scorching the state this week, many of us will be cranking up the AC to stay cool. But in some communities, like Seattle, this heat is far less common. Brady Wakayama reports hardware stores on the west side are now struggling to keep up with the demand for fans and air conditioners.
I'd say maybe 1 out of every 4 persons coming into the store is looking for a way to cool down this summer.
Fans are the hot seller here at the Ace Hardware located in Seattle's Magnolia neighborhood.
There are a number of different fans that range, anywhere from the $20 range all the way up to about $150.
Tim Clark is the assistant manager of the store. He says the beginning of July is one of the busiest times of the year as customers look for ways to beat the heat.
I had no fans, nope. I didn't want to leave the windows open because it was just letting more hot air in, so that's why I'm here for some air conditioning.
Rick Krejci is one of those folks trying to find some relief.
Seeing this thing, so kind of Arctic air, cool thing. I think I'm going to buy this.
Although fans are blowing off the shelves, Clark says portable AC units are a hot commodity.
I have a number of calls from throughout the city because I think they're hard to find and they're getting harder to find. And people seem to wait till the last minute.
This location doesn't sell any in store, but Clark says people can find them online or at big box stores.
If you're looking for a unit that you can buy and install yourself, we're talking anywhere from a few $100s up to a few $1,000s.
For those looking to get central AC installed, King 5 discovered most HVAC businesses in town have an estimated range between $7,000 to $13,000. Clark just hopes people are able to stay safe as the summer heat continues.
All right, thanks so much.
Drink plenty of water, stay hydrated, and get a fan. Get a fan and cool off.
Reporting in Seattle, Brady Wakayama, King 5 News.
Well, millions of Texans are without power after Hurricane Beryl swept through the region, and now a heat advisory is in place for southeast Texas. The forecast calls for high temperatures to reach the lower 90s. However, it could feel more like 105 degrees. The National Weather Service warns that the lack of proper cooling combined with people cleaning up after the storm could produce dangerous heat conditions. State officials are warning that restoring power will take several days. In fact, city officials in the coastal city of Galveston have estimated it could be as many as 2 weeks before electricity is restored. And so far, at least 8 people have died from Beryl. When we return on Good Morning Northwest, actress Margot Robbie has had a busy past few years with starring in movies like Barbie and Babylon. But now she's making headlines for another reason. And we'll tell you why she's trending next in your entertainment headlines.
You're gonna need a new bumper.
Did you say burger? Guac?
Teriyaki, sauce, burger, pineapple, cheese, burger, pineapple, cheese, teriyaki.
Brace yourself, the new teriyaki burger, only at Carl's Jr.
Big burger!
Good burger. Life can be hard. With Culligan, your water doesn't have to be.
When you get hurt on the job, you never know if you're going to get paid by Labor and Industries. Let Bothwell and Hamill fight on your behalf for your workers' comp. We can often increase your compensation. The sooner you call us, the better. If you were hurt at work, let us go to work to get you benefits.
Call 509-584-4411 for a free consultation. Bothwell and Hamill.
This season, we've got 2 celebrity contestants in the hot seat working to win big money for charity. The most dramatic hour of 3 people sitting on stools in the history of American television.
Jimmy Kimmel hosts Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, Wednesday on ABC.
Oh my gosh, wow. Who am I? Wow, is that really me?
Hi, I'm Jonathan Greenhut, the CEO of Plexiderm. All it takes is 10 minutes to reduce the appearance of under eye bags, wrinkles, and crow's feet. The instant results are from naturally based silicates found in shell clay. Once applied, your skin tightens and firms. Take action with our Plexiderm 10-minute challenge. Try it today for only $14.95, plus get free shipping. Visit plexidermtrial.com or call the number on your screen.
If your family is anything like this, you need quality floors from Empire today.
like durable carpet with built-in stain and pet protection, tough wood laminate with a scratch-resistant finish, or waterproof vinyl plank floors. Even bath time is no match. And when life happens, Empire backs every floor with great warranties. Quality floors you can count on. Save $350 on your next project. Call this special number now.
1-844-254-8536.
Everybody in the Tri-Cities has been to a Hubby's pizza party, right? You haven't? Acquire the Hubby's habit and book your party today. Delicious, mouth-watering food made with only the freshest ingredients. It's party time at Hubby's Pizza, a hometown favorite for nearly 45 years. Book your party today.
Is that Carl's Jr.'s 2 for $6 double take deal? I get 2 charcoal cheesy, juicy, crunchy, melty, spicy choices for $6? I need to do a double take. 2 irresistible items, $6. Only at Carl's Jr. Big burger!
Get burger. Take off over a fun park. Fly the Northwest. Apple Valley News Now at 6 tonight.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It's now time for your entertainment and trending news.
Starting off, Margot Robbie, the Barbie actress, is expecting her first child with director-husband Tom Ackerley. Multiple sources confirmed the news to People magazine.
Robbie and Ackerley, both 34 years old, first met in 2013. The two later married during a private ceremony in Australia in 2016.
Representatives for the two stars did not respond to a request for comment.
Yay,
Congratulations.
Margot Robbie. We love her.
Now to some news that has been trending online. Justin Bieber.
The Biebs made entertainment headlines a few days ago when he became the latest artist to perform at one of the events for the wedding of billionaire Mukesh Ambani's son in Mumbai, India.
Bieber was reportedly paid $10 million for a private performance because the bride-to-be is a fan of Justin Bieber.
And Jill, I think our invitations got lost again.
Once again.
I know, the mailman just needs to get it together. Right? Well, he performed for the couple's Sangeet night, and the word is synonymous with the word song. So it's a night of singing and dancing a few days before the actual wedding day.
Now, India is no stranger to extravagant weddings, but this one has taken the internet by storm for the guests the family has already had. Guests like Rihanna, Katy Perry, the Backstreet Boys, and Pitbull, to name a few.
And the Indian wedding industry has boomed since the pandemic. It's estimated at about $130 billion, billion with a B. It's now nearly twice the size of the United States.
All right, I'm not too surprised that he took that job.
I know.
Yeah.
I know. I mean, I could have been there. We could have been there, Jill.
We could have. Well, an upcoming TV legal drama is getting some more star power.
E! News reports that Halle Berry and Glenn Close will join Kim Kardashian as stars of the new Hulu drama series called All's Fair.
The three women will also serve as executive producers along with co-creator Ryan Murphy. In the series, Kardashian will play the role of a top divorce attorney at an all-female law firm in Los Angeles.
No word yet on the roles that Berry and Close will play.
Kim Kardashian is just taking over the world.
She was on American Horror Story. She was in a couple movies.
So I wanted to see American Horror Story because I want to see her act, but it's too scary for me, so I can't do it.
I will say she's gotten a lot better.
Okay.
Like 15 years ago when she was in movies and stuff, it was a little pitiful.
But now,
yeah, she's actually gone really good.
Good for her. Yeah. Well, coming up on Good Morning Northwest, it's going to be a very hot day with temperatures potentially in the triple digits. We have where in Richland you can cool off poolside for a low price.
And speaking of that heat, Oregon is also dealing with it as the heat wave causes a total of 5 heat-related deaths. The details are next, but first, here are your Tech Bites.
In today's Tech Bites, Microsoft launches its Xbox TV app on Amazon devices. Subscribers can now stream games on certain Fire TV sticks, and it marks the first time the Xbox app is available on a non-Samsung device. Next, budget-friendly brand CMF is launching a line of less expensive tech products. Their smartphone costs $200, the Watch Pro 2 is $69, and the Buds Pro 2 are $59. The devices will be available starting July 11th. And finally, Target is cutting checks from checkout. Starting July 15th, Target will no longer accept personal checks in stores. The retailer says the change will simplify the checkout process for customers who can still pay using digital wallets, cash, and credit cards. Whole Foods and Aldi also stopped taking checks, but you can still write one at Walmart. I still try to pay by check because I don't like change. Those are your Tech Bites. Have a great day.
Hey, I'll give you $574 if you switch.
For Gerald?
Well, okay. So what about $574 for switching your home insurance to Allstate?
Well, I try not to think about home insurance too complicated.
Actually, Allstate can handle the switching for you. Just call them.
It's that easy to save?
Yep. And you get Allstate.
Oh, well, that's a step up. Goodbye, Gerald.
Check Allstate first and you could save hundreds. You're in good hands with Allstate.
Some people think it's impossible for a snack to be delicious and full of protein. But it's possible to be two things at once. Like today, I'm business and I'm casual. Yoplait protein, 15 grams of protein, and it tastes so good.
Start your day with Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended vitamin and supplement brand.
Right now on Good Morning Northwest, what police are calling a mortar-style firework ends with the man's death after being hit in the back of the head with it. Where this happened, just ahead.
2 juvenile rehab centers in Washington are no longer taking in teens. We have the reason why coming up.
And it's going to be a scorching hot day. We have where you can cool off, and get this, it's for a discounted rate.
Not only is today going to be dangerous from the heat, but also from fire conditions. I'll tell you how to stay safe as it pertains to that coming up right now.
This is Apple Valley News Now. Good morning, Northwest. On your side.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for joining us for Good Morning Northwest. I'm Jessica Jalal.
And I'm Jill Sperling. It is Tuesday, July 9th. Jessica, have you been preparing yourself for the heat?
I'm just going to have to sweat and sweat like I have
Maybe
been doing.
Maybe a dip in the pool.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan. I did that this weekend, so I'm going to have to do that again this week because it's just getting hotter. So we'll check on the forecast with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colbreth.
Yes, today will be hot. Today will be an excellent day to be in the pool. I'll tell you what, it's not going to be a good day to do. Play with fireworks, and we have another list of things to tell you not to do here in just a second. But first, for this morning, 50s and 60s for the Kittitas and Yakima valleys. Very mild stuff, very comfortable temperatures. The same thing for the lower Columbia Basin. And we're already into the mid to upper 60s for the foothills of the Blues. A little bit later today, very hot stuff, up around 110 for the lower Columbia Basin. This will place us at about 20 degrees above average for this time of the year. So, of course, the heat in a vacuum alone is very dangerous, but then you add in how dry the fuels are going to be for today, and we're going with a first alert extreme impact fire days. These fire fuels are just going to be asking to be burned. So here's some tips for today. Avoid tossing a burning cigarette on the ground, and just for the sake of decency all year, you probably shouldn't do that. Avoid parking hot vehicles on dry vegetation, and gather your fire evacuation kit right now. And I'll show you just how dry some of these fuels are actually going to be. I'll put a number to that. That's going to be coming up in a few minutes.
Thank you, Josh. Now, as you were just telling us, it's going to be a very hot week here in Southeast Washington and also Northeast Oregon.
And because of this, Richland Parks and Rec is offering the public a way to cool off on a budget. Admission at George Prout Pool will be $1 per person today from 3:45 until 5:30. Now, it's in celebration of National Parks and Recreation Month. Open swim fees usually range from $1.25 to $3.50 per person.
So hot. We were at the splash pad yesterday, but today we wanted to get some deep dive water today.
How are you dealing with the hot weather?
So good. I like it.
He likes it. He likes it.
I currently work at McDonald's just down the street here on Geo Way. And now, since it's summer, when I get done, I just come here. Better to save money, you know? And plus, since it is going to be 110 tomorrow, yeah, better to take the advantage to swim, you know?
And to find more local ways to beat the heat, simply head to our website, applevalleynewsnow.com.
Turning to Oregon now, where the state is also dealing with this heat wave.
The extreme temperatures now believed to be responsible for at least 5 deaths nationwide. 4 of those deaths are in Multnomah County, which includes Portland. Officials are now asking people to check on their family members and neighbors in the dangerous heat, and at-risk people should use area cooling centers.
But certainly, of the folks who passed away of suspected heat-related illness, these are probably preventable deaths, based on the fact that we assume that they probably would not have expired if they had better cooling options. And so we're trying to ramp up and make sure people have those options right now.
Now, the temperatures aren't expected to reach as high as they did during a similar heat wave in the Pacific Northwest in 2021, which killed an estimated 600 people across Oregon, Washington, and Western Canada. Police in a Seattle suburb say a 45-year-old man is dead after being hit by a mortar-style firework. This as people were celebrating the 4th of July.
Police in Redmond say they got a call around 2:30 Friday morning about a 45-year-old man who had been hit in the back of the head. He was pronounced dead at the scene. Now, all fireworks are illegal in Redmond, but police say a group had gathered to light them off in a parking lot. Redmond police told the ABC news station in Seattle that it appears the man's death was an accident.
More from the west side of the state. Washington is shutting down intake at 2 juvenile rehab facilities on the west side because officials say overcrowding has become a safety concern.
The Washington Department of Children, Youth, and Families says Echo Glen, which is in Snoqualmie, and Green Hill in Chehalis, will not be accepting any more teens at this time. The state also says they won't be releasing any of the teens being held at these centers.
And kids who are convicted of crimes and sentenced will have to go into county jails instead of these specialized juvenile facilities. That is until they get some space opened up.
Across the country now, the NATO summit kicks off in Washington, D.C. today. It's generating questions about Ukraine's desire to join NATO.
The Biden administration is hinting at a possible answer. It says this week NATO will unveil the, quote, bridge Ukraine must cross to become a member. Amy Kiley has the details.
You will see additional specificity about Ukraine's bridge to NATO.
The Biden administration promises NATO will reveal this week steps Ukraine needs to take to become a member. Today is the first day of the NATO summit in Washington, marking 75 years of the alliance.
The NATO alliance will announce significant new steps to strengthen its military and political partnership with Ukraine, to help Ukraine continue to defend themselves today and to deter Russian aggression well into the future.
3 sources say a draft communique calls Ukraine's path to membership, quote, irreversible.
Is Ukraine about to become a full-scale member of NATO?
No, they're not.
Kurt Volker is the former U.S. Special Representative for Ukraine negotiations.
We've had now since 2008, 16 years of NATO saying Ukraine will be a member someday, but not really taking the step to invite them. That's what's going to happen again.
Volker says the sticking point is that NATO members pledge to defend each other in war. He says the U.S. and other countries don't want to fight with Russia.
They worry that if we bring them into NATO now, we have an obligation to go to war ourselves to fight to protect them.
But U.S. officials say NATO has other plans to help Ukraine.
You will see new military, diplomatic, and economic support announced for Ukraine.
I'm Amy Kiley reporting.
Up next on Good Morning Northwest, the Columbians Drum and Bugle Corps hosted a performance on its Northwest tour at Lamson Stadium last night. But because of these extreme temperatures, members had to change some things up. That's to keep themselves safe from the heat.
Riley Fitzgerald talked with the members and has that story. That's up next. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Poor maintenance, old tires, bad brakes, that could be why the big truck hit you. At my law firm, we have a team that knows big truck wrecks. Big truck insurance companies know that we have the knowledge and experience to get you paid everything you deserve. Call the heavy hitter. When I call the insurance companies, they listen. Hit by a big truck, I know how to be their insurance companies. I'm attorney Mariano Morales, the big truck heavy hitter.
The heavy hitter is the one for you. Call 853-2222.
Smoke City for Less is your one-stop shop in Kennewick, Richland, West Richland, Hermiston, Road 68 in Pasco, and the new location on West Court Street. July 10th is a 7-10 sale from 8 to 10 p.m. at all 6 locations. This year is off the charts. Get 50% off glass, free goodie bags for the first 300 people through the door, free tacos from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. only at our Kennewick location. Don't miss the huge savings on the one-day July 10th 7-10 sale at all 6 locations. Smoke City for Less. We smoke the competition.
Dear Nowhere,
It was quite a journey to get to you. Jostling through ruts, winding through pines, and crawling up a mountain. But guess what? I'd do it all over again. Keep it wild. 4Runner.
Right now, you can lease a new 2024 4Runner for $489 per month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Chevy lets you begin every day fully charged, so you can go farther. And so can your money. Tow with confidence. Plus, stay connected with available OnStar technology. For summer adventures, Chevy's got you. Get $5,750 total value on this Silverado LT when you trade in an eligible vehicle. That's 10% below MSRP. Chevrolet, together let's drive.
I grew up picking cherries right here in this orchard. Bumps and bruises on us, never on them. If only Congress worked that way. Professional politicians look out for themselves, while working families suffer from inflation, open borders, drugs, and crime. We can do better. We can secure our border and make life affordable again by picking better people to fight for us in Congress. I'm Tiffany Smiley, and I approve this message.
This is Rhonda. She's a soul line dance instructor. And this is Rhonda's Good Feet story.
I love dancing, but I had foot pain and hated the fact that I had to sit out a couple dances. But since visiting the Good Feet store and wearing the arch supports, I definitely have not felt the pain. I am able to dance longer, feel happier. My energy levels have increased. Once that energy gets into you and you're feeling good, double stands.
Get back out there with arch supports from the Good Feet store.
Good Morning Northwest streams all day at AppleValleyNewsNow.com and our mobile apps.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. There was quite the musical experience at Kennewick High School's Lamson Stadium last night. It was for Drums Along the Columbia.
Riley Fitzgerald takes us to the field after the record-breaking hot day to tell us what had to change for members when it came to accommodating for the extreme temperatures.
The Columbians Drum and Bugle Corps hosted its home performance on its Northwest tour here at Lamson Stadium in Kennewick. With extreme temperatures in the Tri-Cities, I talked with the team here about what they're doing to keep its membership cool. They say with the extreme temps, a lot of changes come to when and where they get to practice. Practices would have been happening here at Lamson Stadium, but instead, most of it took place inside Kennewick High School.
And so we typically as instructors we'll get together and flip around our schedules so that we go outside first thing in the morning when it's nice and cool, come back inside, do the things that we can do inside, and then return outside once the sun has gone down.
The schedule of events changed for the Columbians when record-breaking temps came through on the forecast, bringing practices indoors and switching a few things up.
The hardest things that we do as a full drum corps is our full ensemble rehearsal, where everyone's out on the field doing the full show practice. We try to get them doing that at the coolest temperatures, both earlier in the morning and later in the evening at night. And so we've definitely shifted things around just to make sure that our membership is completely safe and hydrated and accommodating for all of our kids who are not quite as used to this heat.
Heather Hill with the Benton Franklin Health District says heat exhaustion can turn into heat stroke in minutes in these conditions.
It really means keeping an eye out for each other. You personally may not notice that you're struggling, but somebody you're with might.
The biggest advice in weather like this, water, water, water. And the team is on it, ready to stay cool when outperforming in typical Tri-Cities summer heat.
Drink lots of water. That's the big one is drinking lots of water all the time, and we have Gatorade stations normally as well, and people have different items such as cooling towels, or we take shade breaks and things like that throughout the day to make sure that people are prepared to keep going.
Drums Along the Columbia took place last night, but those hot temperatures are continuing throughout the rest of the week, so keep those tips in mind when it comes to heat exposure and staying safe outdoors. Reporting in Kennewick, I'm Riley Fitzgerald for Good Morning Northwest.
Up next on Good Morning Northwest, more than 2,000 pounds of frozen ready-to-eat chicken products have been recalled. We'll tell you which specific ones when we come back.
So no chicken, but maybe some cold cut turkey sandwiches and ice cream for today, because that's what you're going to need after Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth tells you the highs for today. He's got that when we come back.
Take off over a fun park. Fly the Northwest. Apple Valley News Now at 6 tonight.
Let's have a good time.
Tonight, it's an all-new season of Celebrity Family Feud.
Team Megan. We made it to Family Feud!
And a special look back at decades of laughs.
That's different.
It all starts tonight, 8/7 Central on ABC.
Welcome to Beaver Valley Lodge, your rustic lodging and event venue in the beautiful Leavenworth, Washington. Experience the great outdoors and enjoy the beauty of the mountains as you stay with us on our 50 acres in the Cascade Foothills. Whether you're joining us for a wedding, retreat, vacation, or family reunion, we're here to make your stay unforgettable. We make it our goal for you to come as a guest, but leave as a friend. Book your stay today at beavervalleylodge.com.
Save now with stock reduction savings in Bi-Mart's latest savings book in your mailbox or pick up a copy in store. Save $5 on Panasonic 12 packs of AA or AAA batteries, now just $5.99. Save $3 on Cutter or Repel 2 packs of insect repellent. Get a Bi-Mart brand Marine RV 12-month battery for just $79.99. Plus save big on 28-ounce bottles of Gatorade. Save now with store-wide savings of up to 50% off during our summer stock reduction sale only at Bi-Mart.
STCU and Apple Valley News Now honor local volunteers by sharing their stories and donating $1,000 to their favorite charities. To nominate someone who's making a difference in Benton and Franklin counties, just click on Volunteers Count at applevalleynewsnow.com.
Want to test drive U.S. Cellular's nationwide 5G coverage for free?
Here we go.
Hey, I wonder if U.S. Cellular lets me stream in my... Yep, it's working.
Download the U.S. Cellular Trius app today.
Have you ever had a day like this? Bad days are why we got in the game. Capuzza Lighting, accident injury lawyers.
Have you heard about refractive lens exchange? K2 Vision RLE means no glasses, no contacts, and no readers permanently. And you'll never develop a cataract.
No glasses or readers. K2 Vision RLE.
My name's Morgan Guillory. I'm your basic single mother of 3, a cleaning lady with an IQ of 160. So now, when the cops are in a jam, they have to ask me for help.
What is she supposed to do?
Spot the things my detectives miss. Isn't that our cleaning lady?
I see you brought your child with you.
She is just spectating. Not going to be able to help you solve the time of death or anything like that.
From Apple Valley News Now, First Alert Weather with Chief Meteorologist Josh Colberth.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. It is already pretty mild / warm out there for this morning with 50s and 60s for the Kittitas and Yakima valleys. Also 60s for the lower Columbia Basin and mid to upper 60s for the foothills of the Blue Mountains. A little bit later today, it is going to be a toasty one out there. Probably the hottest day of the year, as we'll be about 20 degrees above average for this time of the year. So near 110 for the Kittitas and Yakima valleys. In all likelihood, we do reach 110 for the lower Columbia Basin and middle to upper 100s for the foothills of the Blue Mountains. Also, it will be a little bit hazy today as we will have some smoke drifting down from the Pioneer Fire that's burning just off of Lake Chelan. And, you know, the heat itself is going to be dangerous for today, but then you factor in how energized the fire fuels are going to be, and it makes today that much more dangerous, as fire fuel energy in terms of historical values are going to be up into the 98th percentile for Kittitas and Yakima counties, up into the 96th percentile for the lower Columbia Basin, and up into the 95th percentile for the Blue Mountains. So it is going to be a powder keg of an environment today. Please, please, please exercise extreme heat and fire safety. Now for tonight, a lot of that haze that I was talking about is going to start to drift and become more relegated to just the lower Columbia Basin, the foothills of the Blues, and also for the Blue Mountains. Overnight lows are going to be very warm / mild again, as we'll be right near 70 for the Kittitas and Yakima Valleys. Same thing for the lower Columbia Basin, and low to mid 70s for the foothills of the Blue Mountains. Wednesday is essentially going to be just as hot as today, up around 110. I think some other parts of our region could be maybe just a hair cooler, not by much though. And then for Thursday through Monday, technically cooler, but still temperatures up into the triple digits. And just given that we're going to have this prolonged stretch of very hot weather, we're going with the first alert extreme impact fire day, not just for today, but also for tomorrow and for Thursday and Friday and Saturday and Sunday and Monday. It's going to be that kind of setup for this week. So tomorrow's fire fuel energy in terms of historical values going to be up into the 99th percentile for Kittitas and Yakima counties, also up into the 99th percentile for the lower Columbia Basin, and it's going to be the same thing for the Blue Mountains, or the 97th percentile, but 97th, 99th, it's going to be very dry out there. So please, 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 again, exercise all the fire safety, and we could have some lightning-induced fire starts, at least the potential for that, into Sunday and Monday with very small thunderstorm chances. Here's a 7-day forecast for the Cascades. We'll be near 90 for today, but back into the 70s, so coming back down to earth by Thursday. For the Kittitas Valley, an incredibly dangerous setup for Wednesday and Thursday, just given how breezy and windy we could be. For the Yakima Valley, we'll have more bearable heat by Thursday, but it's still going to be hot as we're going to be up around 100 degrees. And then for the lower Columbia Basin, a pair of 110s for Tuesday and Wednesday, slight relief in time for Thursday. For the foothills of the Blue Mountains, triple digits for Tuesday and Wednesday, upper 90s after that. And then for the Blue Mountains, very dry and a very concerning lightning setup for Sunday and Monday.
Thank you, Josh. Now in consumer news, there's a frozen chicken recall to tell you about today.
Alsafa U.S. is recalling more than 2,000 pounds of frozen ready-to-eat chicken products, according to a notice from the USDA. Routine testing found the Alsafa halal chicken products may be contaminated with listeria.
There have been no reports of illnesses, but the USDA's Food Safety and Inspection Service says the recalled chicken should not be eaten. The products were produced in Canada and imported to the U.S. last month. And coming up next on Good Morning Northwest, a town in Maryland made headlines after unearthing a time capsule from 1974. We have what exactly they found in there.
And another town in Nebraska had a dress rehearsal to figure out how to open their time capsule for the 50th anniversary next year. Can't say I've ever heard of a dress rehearsal for a time capsule, but that unique story is coming up. We'll be right back. Need a new furry pal? It's Operation Best Friend from Apple Valley News Now. Each Wednesday, we'll feature lovable pets from area shelters wanting forever homes. Operation Best Friend from Windermere Group 1 and Apple Valley News Now.
Indulge in Legends Casino's seafood buffet experience. Discover a feast of premium crab legs, succulent shrimp, and an array of delectable ocean-inspired dishes. Elevate your evenings with Legends Seafood Buffet every Thursday and Saturday starting at 4 p.m.
Smoke City for Less is your one-stop shop in Kennewick, Richland, West Richland, Hermiston, Road 68 in Pasco, and the new location on West Court Street. July 10th is a 710 sale from 8 to 10 p.m. at all 6 locations. This year is off the charts. Get 50% off glass, free goodie bags for the first 300 people through the door, free tacos from 11 a.m. to 6 p.m. only at our Kennewick location. Don't miss the huge savings on the one-day July 10th 710 sale at all 6 locations. Smoke City for Less. We smoke the competition.
The Make It Ford Summer Sales Event is on. I want that. So make it your best summer ever with Ford. Adventure big in a Ford Bronco. Bring it all with the capability of Ford F-150 and the all-electric F-150 Lightning. Or go hands-free on the highway with Ford Blue Cruise. Available on select vehicles, including Explorer. It's the Make It Ford Summer Sales Event. So make it yours. Make it now at your Ford dealer today.
Communist China poses an economic and national security threat to America.
And Dan Newhouse is the leader in Congress fighting for our security.
Dan stood up to Communist China and wrote the bill to stop them from buying up American farms and ranches.
And Dan's working to secure the border and stop the flow of deadly Chinese fentanyl through Mexico and into our communities.
Where Joe Biden fails us, Dan Newhouse fights for us.
I'm Dan Newhouse, and I approve this message to stand up to Communist China and to secure our border.
Visit us at our new urban wine bar in historic downtown Kennewick. Choose from a variety of wines and food from our expanded menu. Enjoy time with friends old and new. After hours with riverfront views from our shaded patio, we are Murray Gaston Wine Bar.
Warning, your air conditioner unit needs service. Would you like me to call Bruce?
Yes, call Bruce.
Thanks to today's modern technology, it's never been easier to call Bruce Heating and Air. When your AC unit needs serviced, call Bruce.
Oh my gosh.
Let's get this party started.
Just make sure you call the right Bruce.
Now through September 30th, receive rebates up to $1,850 off on a new Daikin Fit system when you finance through Bruce Heating and Air. Terms and conditions apply. See dealer for details.
Take good care of you, Bruce Heating and Air.
So what do you think about these?
We're going to take everything.
From design and products to removal and installation, Rebath is with you through every step of your remodel. Call us or visit rebath.com and save $1,000 off your complete bathroom remodel.
Watch live with Kelly and Mark weekdays at 9.
Welcome back to Good Morning Northwest. Let's get close to home now with some of those hyper-local temperatures. In Kittitas County, temperatures are all over the map right now, 50s, 60s, and 70s, but it does look like some of that cooler air is pulling up in Cle Elum, also in Ellensburg. For the Yakima Valley, mostly 60s right now, a little bit locally cooler in Sunnyside, but the rest of us in the 60s, pretty mild stuff. And then for the lower Columbia Basin, it looks like we're pretty much exclusively in the 60s. Boardman right on the cusp of 60 degrees. And then for the foothills of the Blues, 60s and 70s already for this morning, although we are much cooler in the higher terrain of Meacham and Ukiah with 40s and 50s.
Thank you, Josh. A town takes a look back with a 50-year-old time capsule, and a storied lake town gets cracking on 4th of July cleanup.
Jeremy Roth has today's Take a Look at This.
A Maryland town celebrated its 150th anniversary, not to mention our country's independence, by unearthing a buried treasure of sorts on the 4th of July. The treasure was a town time capsule buried beneath Bel Air, Maryland since 1974 and found loaded with a mishmash of miscellaneous items from a bygone era, including pictures, cassette tapes, and news clippings, which for some offered a personal look at loved ones' past lives.
So this talks about my mom and what she was doing for the centennial.
The town plans to keep the time warp tradition going, filling and burying a new capsule, which won't be reopened until 2074. A Nebraska town sporting the world's largest time capsule had to have a dress rehearsal for next year's 50-year reopening because they say they haven't yet figured out how exactly to get to the goods. The capsule was buried in 1975, but in 1983, the town added this huge pyramid on top to preserve the precious plot. Now, after cracking the triangular topper open to reveal an aged Toyota Corolla and a litany of old letters and such, town officials are still trying to figure out how to get into the main vault, which is said to contain another car, a motorcycle, and many more time-traveling treasures. Well, hopefully everyone had a festive 4th of July filled with friends, fireworks, and flying hot dogs. No, I did not make that up. It is a thing. But just as important as the fun is what follows. I'm talking about cleanup efforts, like those of these volunteers in California taking time to collect holiday trash from in and around Lake Tahoe. Celebrating from sea to shining sea only works, my friends, if we take the time to keep them shining. For Take a Look at This, I'm Jeremy Roth.
Going back to the time capsules, they're so fascinating.
They had a pyramid, and then there was a Toyota Corolla under the pyramid.
And there's another car?
And then they can't get to the motorcycle and the other car.
That's very interesting. Have you ever done a time capsule?
I think in elementary school.
Okay.
I don't remember what I put in there.
I've never done a time capsule. I've written a letter to my older self.
I've done that before.
And I've read it back.